Hello, welcome to STEM School. In this lesson, we are going to talk about network basics. Let's take a look at the OSI model here. So the OSI stands for Open System Interconnection. The model represents an easy and intuitive way to standardize the different parts required to communicate across networks. So here's the definition. So what does that mean? So you can see there are 7 layers in the following table, right? So we got the layers here. We got the first physical, second data link, the third layer network layer, the fourth transport, the 5th session, 6th presentation, 7th application. So from 5 to 7, it's actually being used for software operating system. Okay, and for 1 to 3, it's used for hardware. We are talking about switches, routers, and firewalls, and others. Okay. So for the physical layer, the physical infrastructure to transport data, right? So data link responsible for which physical devices packets should go to. Network layer responsible for which paths packets should travel on network. The transport data is forwarded to a service capable of handling requests, and session capable of maintaining connections. Presentation, ensuring data in a usable format, and application where humans process data information. So that's the brief talking about the 7 layers overall. And now let's take a look at the details of them. So it will make us more clear what those 7 layers do actually. So layer 7, application layer. Let's take a look at this application layer first. So we are talking about the business logic and functionality of the application is here. So mainly the programs, the softwares we are creating is on the application layer. Okay. So this is here, it says this is what the users use to interact with service across a network, right? So users use the application layer, use the applications to interact with the network. All right. So we are talking about HTTP protocols, FTP protocols, okay, so hypertext transfer protocols. So that's what when you try to visit a web page, you got HTTP or HTTPS, that's what you see. So that's the hypertext transfer protocols. And FTP is used to transferring files across user to servers, across servers to servers. So that's the protocol for that. And there is the SNMP, so Simple Network Management Protocol. And that's for reading and updating network device configuration. So the protocols have been used for different browsers like Google Chrome and different Firefox, Edge, and different other network applications, right? So here's probably a new keyword for some of you. What does protocol mean? So I put the writing here. The protocol defines the rules, syntax, semantics, and synchronization of communication and possible error recovery methods. So that's something defined for the applications to program, and everyone follows that certain rules and syntax so that the application can communicate with each other. So that's the layer 7 application layer and let's take a look at the other layers. So the next one, layer 6, presentation layer. So this is typically an unseen layer here, okay? So again, it says here it's responsible for adapting, transforming, and translating data. So it's not actually presenting, because the application is actually presents to the user, but the presentation layer is to transform the data for the application layer. Okay. So here it says the function. This is to ensure the application and layers beneath can understand one each other. All right. So we are here talking about the ASCII code, the UTF, the encryption for services, which is, for example, the SSL, okay, and TLS, transport security layer. And we are talking about compression here, the zip files, okay. So SSL or TLS, that's what you can see at some of the websites. There's the HTTPS. So that's the encryption service for the HTTPS. So that's what we talk about for the presentation layer. And let's go to layer 5, session layer. So this layer is responsible for handling connections between the applications and the layers below. So it involves establishing, maintaining, terminating connections, otherwise referring to as sessions. So during your daily use, you sometimes can see the message of session timeout, for example, when you're required to use your username and password to log into some applications and try to interconnect or do some activities with the servers, right? So there's the time that you are not reacting or not clicking on that page, or in some applications, it will tell you the session is out and you need to log in again. So that's what we're talking about, the sessions. So once the session or the connection is established, it will just maintain the connections while you are doing the different activities. And there's always settings in the application says that after a certain amount of time that there's no activities, the connection will be terminated, or let's say the session will be terminated. Right, so it's ready to ensure the security that it's always you that connect with the backend server regarding different method of protect your personal data there. Okay, and we are talking about those protocols such as SOCKS, okay, NetBIOS, and SIP. All right. So the SIP is for engaging in VoIP communications, which is voice over IP. We are talking about IP telephone, so it's really popular these days. And let's take a look at the next layer, layer 4, transport. So the transport layer is which allows applications to be presented on the network. Right, so it really connects the, let's say, the hardware and the software piece. So there's some very useful and famous protocols like the Transmission Control Protocol, TCP, the User Datagram Protocol, UDP, and Quick UDP Internet Connections, QUIC protocol. So it's being used everywhere through the internet. So that's for the transportation. So it's really the connection service between the applications and the network. And the next one, layer 7, is the network. Okay, so this layer is responsible for routing packets between network via routers. So packets, we are talking about the package, the data package between the networks. So we got different networks. For example, a company network, and the part of the country's internet connect with other part of the countries. So we got different networks which are connected via physical links, and this layer is and there is the data package packages are transferring within those networks And the package could be when you're sending some message, it could be a whole package if it's the data is small, or if there's large quantity of data, the package will be separated into multiple packages, right? So we call packets. The network is for routing those packets from the I would say the source to its destination. So the protocols we're talking about here are the IP, so Internet Protocol. So we got IP version 4, IP version 6, right? So you all know the IP addresses. So in another word, so when you're visiting the internet page, you type some, for example, www.google.com, right? So it's actually the DNS domain name servers, right? So it's the domain name, and there is a IP address mapped to that domain name. So for example, 123.456.87.910.91. Okay, so that's IP address mapping behind a certain DNS. When you're visiting the DNS, you're actually visiting that IP address. So that's the Internet Protocol, and there is the ICMP, Internet Control Message Protocol. So that's for diagnose network connections for devices to send a response to errors, conditions, and more, right? So, and there's the IPsec, so Internet Protocol Security, so that's for the encryption. All right, so that's the network layer. And the next layer is layer 2, link layer. So link networks. So as the name implies, consists of the protocol designed to send packets through the actual links, physical connections. So we are not talking about the physical connections instead of the virtual ones. So the network nodes are connected to, so, right? So a simple way of thinking of this is the link layer is responsible for moving data from physical over to logical. So the network layer is logical, which means it's virtual, and the link is actually link. What you can see, the physical links, the lines. Okay, so protocol on this layer are Ethernet, the Wi-Fi, and NDP. Okay, so you can see those, the Ethernet, here's the definition. Essential protocol used by most operating system will connect to network using a physical cable. We're talking about physical cables. Wi-Fi, you all know that when you most likely your cell phone or your laptop connects to Wi-Fi in your workspace or at home, so for accessing network via radio signals, so Wi-Fi is radio signals. In fact, it uses a family of protocols called IEEE 802.11.xx, right? So, and there's the NDP, the Neighbor Discovery Protocol. So IP version 6 uses this protocol on the link to gather information required to communicate via IPv6. Okay, that's the link, the physical one. And we get back to layer 1, physical. So the physical layer represents the signaling, which allows bits and bytes to transfer between a physical medium. Okay, so we are talking about physical layer protocol here. So it's the Control Area Network Bus, so CAN bus. So used in microcontroller and other devices to communicate to each other, similar devices. Okay, the Ethernet physical layer. So we've got here the Ethernet used by Ethernet on the physical layer to send signals, which we are talking about signals. It's pure physical signals. And we got the Bluetooth physical layer. Okay, so Bluetooth, you got the Bluetooth on even your cell phone. So Bluetooth also has its own specifications on how radio signals should be sent and received. So that's the physical layer. So overall, it's the very basics of 7 layers of the network. So in the following sessions, I'm going to talk more about the network. That's everything for today's lesson. Please click like if you like this video and subscribe my channel. Thank you.